Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to weigh in on something that I think needs to be brought up right now with the character Ada and the way that her character has been depicted coming out of the time skip at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations and the current story we have with Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. After the last chapter, it can be easy to say that her character has been driven off of a cliff because she's down bad enough for Kawaki that her character has been shown scolding her younger brother Damon over the fact that Damon was popping off at Kawaki, and Kawaki didn't show any regard for her well-being after she revealed that she was also a target of the evolved Shinjuu, but Kawaki solely focused on the fact that they were after Naruto. Kawaki looked like he couldn't give a damn about her well-being. But today I want to explain why I do believe what we're seeing right now is actually the sowing of seeds that is important in the turns of the character arcs we have for Kawaki and Ada's character. Now, we've already discussed the whole thing of could Kawaki betray Ada, or is his lack of interest in Ada going to lead to Damon versus Kawaki in the future? I'll leave that video linked in the description to avoid regurgitating those talking points. And also, I know somebody's going to ask, hey, what about this in the comment section? Check the playlist, guys. But I think what we have right now is another layer added to the characters of Ada and Kawaki, but it's very subtle writing. In fact, it is so subtle you might miss it if you gloss over that scene and don't read in between the lines of what has been given to us. Ask yourself this question: what do Ada and Kawaki's character arcs actually have in common? The answer is that both of them are people who are devoid of love, and the love that both of them acquired for the most part was acquired through fraudulent methods, cursed by the same technique, the omnipotent shinjutsu, that Ada is unable to control. And in both cases, the shinjutsu was used to make the desires of both Ada and Kawaki come to life. Ada wanted to be loved and enamored by people who weren't her family like Damon. It's why everyone simps over Ada. During some point when Amado was pumping her body full of DNA that belonged to Shibai, get your minds out the gutter, guys, and pumping her body full of ninja tech, at some point that desire to be wanted, to be loved by people other than her family, a basic human instinct that we all have, that caused the shinjutsu to kick into effect. And as Momoshiki said, it was foolish to think that a teenage girl could ever hope to control something like that, particularly because she isn't an Otsutsuki. Kawaki, when he had his desires granted by the omnipotent shinjutsu, was in a highly emotional state. He was doing what he deemed to be the best thing, which was take Naruto off the table so that no one with authority could stop him from killing Boruto, and also to keep Naruto safe from the threats that were out there that Kawaki knew Naruto couldn't handle. Nobody expected Naruto to walk up to Boruto, shove a Rasengan through Boruto's face and say crisis averted. Wasn't gonna happen. Kawaki saw that firsthand. Kawaki saw everyone turning on him for what he deemed to be the only logical decision, which was he needed to kill Boruto, who still had Momoshiki's soul attached to his body. It was still in his DNA, which meant Momoshiki could hijack Boruto's body at any point if they weren't careful. He said things would be easier had he been the son of Naruto and Boruto been the one viewed as an outsider, because if Boruto was the outsider, everyone would hunt down Boruto and they wouldn't be hunting down Kawaki, which is what caused the omnipotence to activate to fulfill his wishes, because he was an Otsutsuki and he had a dark desire, and Ada was someone who could not control Otsutsuki power, and she was desperate to help Kawaki, and so omnipotence granted it. It's what I've called on numerous occasions a perfect storm. What we're seeing here with Ada isn't a character being ruined because she's continuing to stand in Kawaki's corner. We're seeing the long-term storytelling at play here with her character that either results in a payoff beneficial to her, or it will be a red herring that results in her meeting a less than desirable fate for her character. Two characters who have sought out love just happen to be linked together due to the omnipotence, with it being a shinjutsu that seeks to grant both the things that they have sought deep in their own hearts, and both know the truth about the situation, but they can't speak about what happened 3 years ago for that reason. They are essentially tied together, not tied by that red string of fate like how Ada probably wants, but they are tied together by omnipotence. Longtime viewers of the channel, you guys have heard me say these next 2 points for a little over a year now, if not maybe 2 years, which is that Boruto Naruto Next Generations, once you get past the whole father and story aspect of the story of Naruto and Boruto, and the parents and children's aspect of the story that you had with Amato and Orochimaru and Sasuke with their kids. It was also a story of a boy who had everything but took it for granted until he lost it, i.e. Boruto, and a boy who had nothing and gained everything he ever desired, i.e. Kawaki. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is a story of those same two children walking the opposite path before they collide again, just like a vortex. The boy who lost it all, regaining everything he took for granted, and the boy who wanted everything loses it all because he doesn't know how to love. Because here's the sad truth: a heartbroken and a damaged person who has gone so long without genuine love being reciprocated towards them, oftentimes they don't know how to handle love or give it back to those who are trying to show them love, which is something that I can say as someone who is a broken person who has pushed away people that try to love me. Kawaki has been stated to be obsessed with Naruto, with him basically not knowing how to handle his father's affection and support, which is that Naruto gave to Kawaki. That very thing that Kawaki desired. He once again has shown being fixated on Naruto when he's got someone in Ada who is right at his side, who is offering Kawaki the love that he's missed out on. Granted, it's a different kind of love. From the moment that Ada revealed herself, her motives, and we saw manipulations, I said that she reminded me of a watered down version of Makima, only less morally wrong, which I won't go further in order to avoid spoilers, but I will leave my Makima video on my other channel, KRYPTONIAN, saying in the description. But that was something I made a comparison to early on. The desire for love by Ada and the hidden desire for a thing that will be a spoiler when it comes to Makima. I think when we look at this, there's something more to it. Kawaki is the boy whose name means dry. Something stops being dry once it becomes wet with water. In some Asian cultures, water is a symbol for love. The boy who is dry has someone right there in the wings offering love to him. One of the things you see in Chinese is that when it comes to water, water is love, water is letting go. It's a belief that loving couples give up everything to support themselves through a time of difficulty. We're in a similar situation there. You could connect the dots as saying that what Kawaki and Ada are going through, if they do end up becoming a couple, this is their time of difficulty. Ada is supporting Kawaki when he's lost himself. However, here's the thing. He's too blinded by his own obsession with Naruto to see it for what it actually is. He's too blinded by his need to harden his heart to kill Boruto to see it for what it is. In a story where everything is pointing towards more people eventually learning the truth about what he did with omnipotence, the boy who got everything he ever wanted, the life of the Hokage's son, he's gonna push it all away, and the only person left standing in his corner at the end is likely gonna be Ada. I am not gonna be too shocked that we see the duo of Kishimoto and Ikimoto, who are pulling the Toriyama and Toyotaro thing where they're sharing some duties together. They actually pulled the same thing that we saw with Sasuke and Sakura in Naruto Volume 72, where he was so consumed by darkness that he took Sakura, and it was her spilling her guts out as she cried her confession. And Kakashi was pointing out how when most of the world abandoned him and Sakura had every reason to abandon him, Sakura was the one who never wavered in her love and support for him. It took that to make Sasuke start cracking, which we learned is actually the case in Akatsuki Hiden, Evil Flowers and Full Bloom, by Sasuke's own internal monologue. To paraphrase the words he was saying, he compared Sakura to being a spring sunlight that warmed the cold heart of his that was trapped in an eternal winter, but the message is still the same there. I don't think it's crazy to say that we still see Ada standing by Kawaki when this is all said and done, being the person who stayed with him even when he did things that absolutely disgusted her. By her own words, his actions at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generation disgusted her and filled her with regret for the role that she played in it. But despite this and his behavior, she still stayed with him. Ada's story was set up from day one to either be the twisted fairy tale story of the princess who gets rescued by one of the two boys that she referred to as her princess, Boruto and Kawaki, and she gets rewarded with a happy ending, likely with Kawaki being brought out of that darkness by Boruto and into Ada's open and loving arms, or she's gonna go the tragedy route, which is rare. It happens in shonen, but that's basically where the girl who's desperate enough to want anything and everything possible to get love and does everything for that love finds out what happens when you look for love in all the wrong places. When Ada finds herself betrayed by the boy, whose love that she wanted so desperately, Kawaki, just as Code told her would actually be the case in Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Either it's a happy ending for Ada or it's an unhappy ending for her. There is no in between with this character. However, I do believe what we're seeing right now with Kawaki choosing to basically ignore Ada's situation, or of her being a target and a focus solely on Naruto and her own hurt reaction to Kawaki's lack of caring about the situation that she found herself in. It was something needed for both characters. Sure, you can call it her being a simp or being super down bad for Kawaki or not knowing her worth as a person. But I think this is a good layer added to what's either going to be a great payoff at the end that pays off the symbolism of their situation, or it's a heartbreaking end for Ada's character that results in her being killed by Kawaki, or sitting in that black chair like Karin did for Sasuke and Sakura, going so far as to help Sakura deliver the baby Sarada and keep the umbilical cord. That couldn't be me right there. If I was her and Sasuke said that he had nutted in Sakura, I would have told him go live whatever life you're gonna live faster than you can click on this video link on the screen.